Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to write the code for this pattern, right triangle pattern. Okay. So whenever you are getting any pattern, in that we have to observe the rows and columns. Okay. So in this pattern, we have a 4 rows and 4 columns. Okay. Rows and column means you can refer this particular block. In this block, this is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3. This is your column number 1, column number 2, and column number 3. So these are the rows of this table and these are the columns of this table. I hope you have a basic knowledge of rows and columns. Okay. So this pattern also we are going to divide into rows and columns only. Okay. 4 rows, 4 columns. So always we will be writing the pattern row wise. For example, let's say you want to print this pattern. So on row number 1 star we have to print. So you have to print it first. Then only you can jump to the row number 2, print 2 star. Then only we can jump to row number 3, print 3 star. It's not like first row number 1 star we have printed, then row number 3, and again we will revisit row number 1. No. So patterns we will print row wise. Okay. And the last row is row number 4. Okay. Do remember patterns we will print row wise. Okay. Okay. So let's write the code for this. First, we will find out the logic behind this pattern. So you only tell me for row number 1, how many stars we have to print for row number 1? Check in row number 1, how many stars we have? 1 star, correct? Okay. For row number 2, how many stars we have to print? 2 stars, absolutely correct. For row number 3, how many stars we have to print? 3 stars. Okay, 3 stars. For row number 4, how many stars? 4 stars. Okay, like that, let's say you have 100 rows. So same logic you have to follow. Check row number. If row number is 55, 55 stars on that row you have to print. Okay, that's all. So check the row number, that many stars we have to print on that row. So again, you tell me, if the row number is 77, how many stars I have to print? Perfect. 77 stars we have to print. I'm talking about right angle triangle, guys, means this particular pattern. In this pattern, we have 4 rows. But let's say we have 100 rows. Then the logic remains as it is. Okay. So what will be the final code? Let's understand. We will be having outer loop and inner loop. Nested loops we will be using. The outer for loop will take care of rows. Again, I will write it here. The outer for loop will take care of rows and the inner for loop will take care of columns. Okay. Okay. So we have to just iterate through outer for loop and inner for loop. We will get this pattern. So shall we start writing the code? Now do remember what logic we found from this. If the row number is 1, we have to print 1 star. If the row number is 2, we have to print 2 stars and so on. This is what our logic is. So let's write the pattern for this. Okay. I hope my screen is visible to all. I already have written this pattern. I'll just erase this. You can check it out. This star pattern we have to print. Okay. So let's start. So we need first number of rows and number of columns. We will ask user how many number of rows and number of columns user want. Okay. So we'll prompt rows is equal to input. We'll ask user enter number of rows. Okay. So whatever the user will enter, that will be accepted as a string. So we will convert it into integer. Okay. So user will enter 4 rows, 5 rows, 6 rows. Accordingly, the pattern will be printed. Columns we should not ask in this particular pattern, guys. Okay. Because right angle triangle we need, right? So automatically it will generate the right angle triangle. Because if the row number is 10, it will print 10 star. If the row number is 100, 100 star. 4 row number, 4 star. Okay, and so on. So only row numbers we should ask, columns are not required. Okay. So we will use the outer for loop. For I is a control variable, in is a membership operator, range. So if I write it directly here, rows. So what will happen? Let's imagine user has entered here 6. So how many times this loop will iterate? Of course, 6 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, if I simply write it here, print I. Let's check the output for this. Enter the number of rows. Let's say 6. Enter. So can you see? 6 times the loop will iterate. So in I first 0 will come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So do remember, whatever you will pass here, that many times the loop will iterate, but the count will start from 0. Okay. Okay. If you want, no, count should start from 1. So you can pass simply here 1. So what will be the output of this now? I'll just clear this. We'll re-execute. Number of rows 6. You can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 won't be considered because end value won't be considered. Okay, so you have to tell here rows plus 1. So it will start from 1 and it will go until 6 now. So again, I will just clear this. We'll re-execute. Number of rows I need 6. Now you can check 1 to 6. It is considering. Okay, so like that we have to adjust the upper limit and the lower limit. Okay. Okay. But I don't want to print I. Then what do you want to print? I want to print star, correct? So if I execute this code, what will happen? 6 stars will be printed on new line, correct? If I enter 6, see, you got a 6 rows, correct? Okay, again we'll re-execute. If I enter, let's say 10, see, I will be getting 10 rows. So for each row, I'm getting 1 star only. But 10 times my loop is iterating. Okay, so now what I have to tell to in this code, if row number is 1, 1 star. If it is 2, I need 2 stars. If it is 3, I need 3 stars. Everywhere it is printing 1, 1. So 1 I don't want. Okay, so for that purpose, we have to introduce our inner loop. Okay, so when in I 1 is present, okay, how many times inner loop should iterate? 1 time. So in I2 is present, inner loop should iterate 2 times. So whatever is coming in I, that many times inner loop should iterate. That's all, guys. So what I'm telling here, in I, let's say 10 is present, 10 times inner loop will iterate. So what you want to print? I want to print the star. So let's see the output of this code. I'll re-execute this. Number of rows are 5. Enter. So you can check it out here. When in I, 1 is present, 1 time loop iterated, you got 1 star. When in I2 is present, 2 stars got printed. When in I3 is present, 3 star. When in I4 is present, 4 stars. Okay. When in I5 is present, finally we got this 5 stars. Like this it is printing. But like that I don't want. Then what you want? In one line, it should print the stars. Then for next row, it should go to the next line. Correct? So we will change the end parameter. End parameter by default is on the new line. We will tell no. End should be space. So what will happen in this? It will print 1 star, then space. Means cursor won't wait on the next line, guys, on new line. Rather, cursor will blink here on the same line. Okay? Okay. So let's check the output for this. I'll just clear this. Okay. And we'll execute this now. Enter the number of rows. Number of rows are 6. We'll enter. Now see how it is printing. See, first when in I1 was present, 1 got printed. When in I2, 2 stars. When in I3, 3 star. When in I4, 4 star. When in I5 is present, then it has printed 5 stars, 2, 4, 5. When in I6 is present, it has printed 6 stars. Okay. It has printed 6 stars. Okay. But like this in one line, I don't want. Correct? When it is printing 1 star, it should go to the new line. It should print 2 star, then go to the new line. Print 3 stars, go to the new line. Print 4 star, go to the new line. Like that I want. So when in I, 1 is present, it will print 1 star, this inner loop. So once it will print 1 star, see, outside of this for loop, I will tell, take the cursor on the new line. Again in I2 will present 2 stars, it will print, take the cursor on new line. When in I4 is present, 4 stars you print, take the cursor on new line. Are you understanding? Okay. So I'll just clear this. We'll re-execute. Number of rows are 6. We'll hit enter. We got the output the way we want. Again, I'll just clear this. We'll re-execute. 10 stars, sorry, 10 rows I need. See, 10 stars I got. So basically here we are telling if row number is 1, print 1 star and take the cursor on new line. So cursor is blinking here. Now next, print 2 star, take the cursor on new line. Print 3 star, take the cursor on new line. Who is taking the cursor on new line? This print statement. So I hope I am clear with this simple right angle triangle. So whenever you are getting any pattern, just check how many number of rows are there and try to find the logic. So this is very basic pattern which we have solved. This challenge we have solved. In the upcoming videos, we will understand how exactly we have to find the logic from the pattern. Okay. Fine. This is all about this video. Thank you everyone. We'll meet you in the next video.